Address last night and tells us that until recently, he had been a lifelong Democrat. Joseph Knowles joins us now. Joseph, first of all, well, let me put this in a two-part question. What was it like being at the address last night, and why were you previously a Democrat?
Well, the address yesterday was beautiful. I got a chance to see, very smart people, high power people, and like Ema and President Trump and other Republicans and other Congress members. It was a good experience for me. I got to see it from a different side. What made me become a Republican, and not a Democrat anymore, was just how things have changed. They say the agenda was for the working people, but that's not the case. And there's a lot of people like me, out of the jobs, they're out of touch, and I can no longer support an organization or a political party like that.
What did you think of the antics that you saw last night when they weren't standing or holding up signs, not applauding for a 13-year-old boy who's recovering from cancer?
Well, yesterday, Monday, I got to meet and talk to some of those people. We all come from different backgrounds, and I'm there on the automotive side, but those people was there because they lost lives. Even DJ, which I had lunch with, we had dinner together. He's a nice kid, a cancer survivor. And what disappointed me is that the Democrats sat there and they're so against Trump, where they put their personal issues on the forefront and ignore some of the they ignore some of the victims. They all have stories, and that should have been more important.
Yeah,
they put their agenda first.
Yeah, when I saw the mother and the sister of Jocelyn Nungaray, when I saw the mother of Jocelyn Nungaray, and then the mother and the sister of Laken Riley up there barely holding back tears, and I don't think Laken Riley's mom was either. You just felt such sympathy for what they have been going through, and for the other side to just sit on their hands and not even acknowledge it just seemed to be so dehumanizing.
You know what? That just shows you how out of touch they are. Because this doesn't matter if you're Republican, Democrat, or black and white. It doesn't matter. These are human lives. Each one of them has lost someone. The Rileys have lost their husband. The Border Patrol was shot at by cartels. And you couldn't stand up for that. These are the people that you said that you protect and sworn for, but you couldn't stand up for them. You couldn't. You put up signs and you highlight your interests, but these people had lost someone. So I'm very disappointed in the Democrats and how they handle things. And you know what? I feel like I made a damn good choice of not voting for them anymore. And I'm very proud of how Donald Trump handled it. And I'm sorry to hear about how these victims had lost their family members, but they was put in place by Democrat policies. So it's saddening to see this.
Joseph, when you look off into the future, as there's obviously a big conversation that's happening on the Democrat side about the future of their party, where do you see that for the future of the Republican Party, to which you belong to now?
I think a lot of people have seen it for themselves. I believe that a lot of people are going to come over to the Republican side. I think the Democrats are they are killing their own selves. And I got a very good hope for the Republican Party. More and more people are seeing the true colors of the Democrats. And it took me, 20 years to see that. And I woke up. I'm very confident American people will wake up too.
Well, here's the way that the American people are looking at Democrats in Congress and how they're handling their jobs these days. This is a Quinnipiac poll that found Total people, and this is Republicans, Independents, and Democrats, 68% of people disapprove of how the Democrats are handling their job. And look at this, 49%, the plurality of Democrats disapprove of the way that they're handling their job. Very quickly, Joseph, any way they could ever bring you back in the fold, or are you gone forever?
I'm going forever. I've seen enough. And this, you gotta, what I saw, this is inbred. This has been in them for a long time. You know, what it showed, what the TV has showed and the world has seen is this is how they always handle situations like this.
Yeah.
They put their agenda first, and that's all they care about. You know, I got union brothers and blue collar workers right now that's out of their job right now. And they blame Trump for everything, but they was in office for the past 4 years.
Yep.
You know, I lost my job, and I was lucky to get my job back. But I look at a lot of my union brothers right now that's out of their job. And instead of them focus on that, you know what they focus on? Trump. They want to bring up the 34 felonies. They want to bring up all the things that really, to be honest with you, has no effect on my life. Has no effect on their lives. Has no effect on the Border Patrol who lost his, who was shot at. It has no effect on illegal immigrants coming here and shot and kill a husband and a father. Their priorities is not aligned with ours anymore.
Wow.
And a lot of people are starting to see that.
Joseph, thank you very much for coming on and telling your story.
Thanks, Joseph.
And sharing your experience.